Good morning, beautiful kindred soul. Today I wanted to share with you how being bored can actually be a really, really good thing. I think I've shared about this before, but I wanted to share about this today because it actually helps when you're trying to clear clutter. So the day had been a little bit messy, and even the week had been a little bit messy for me. And before I knew it, the clutter around the home had also been gathering up, and I noticed it was having an impact, obviously, on how I was feeling. We all know that having a cluttered home doesn't make you feel good inside, and this was no different for me on this occasion. And in there, somehow, I was trying to connect deeper to my joy, and I realized that I needed to do something a bit different. So I took out my journal and I started journaling and journaled some of my thoughts, and then thought, well, what would really light me up right now? And as I sort of went to my go-tos, like reading a book or going out for a walk or all of those sort of things, I didn't feel my soul light up at all. And then suddenly the answer came to me as I journaled, which was be present with my clutter. And for some strange reason, it actually made me smile. So I decided the first bit of clutter that I was going to tackle was my pieces of clothing. And I basically decided to gather up the clothing that had been unfolded and not ironed, and took out my ironing board and started ironing my clothes. And normally I really don't like ironing. It's one of those tasks that I find really monotonous to do. And this time I thought, no, I'm just going to sit with the boredom and just see what comes out of it. Because I had been reading about it in this book called Simplicity Parenting, about letting children be bored. And I thought to myself, well, if I'm going to create a space where my daughter can be bored, then I think I need to be able to do that for myself first, create this space where I can be bored. So I started ironing the clothing, and I thought within, the first minute itself, I thought, God, I'm so bored. I'm just so bored. I can't believe I'm doing this. I could be doing a million other things, but why am I doing this? I'm so bored. And as I started ironing, and I thought, nope, I'm just going to persist, and I'm just going to sit with this feeling of boredom and see what comes out of it. And I kept ironing, and as I sat with the boredom, I noticed how totally crinkled the clothes were. I noticed some of the stains on the clothing that hadn't been washed away. I noticed that some of the clothes actually had been well and truly too old for me to hang on to. And then all of a sudden, I started feeling all of these creative ideas bubbling inside of me about how I can use some of the pieces of clothing for some sewing projects or stitching projects, and how I got some ideas about how I could actually talk about it on a podcast, which is what I'm doing right now, and so on and so forth. All of these delightful little ideas started bubbling, which really, really lit me up. And suddenly I realized that all the clutter had actually just been asking for me to do was to just truly get present to myself. Because if I didn't get present to myself, then I couldn't get present to the wonder and the beauty and the creativity inside of my soul. And there is something so beautiful and joyful in accessing your creativity and wonder. And it doesn't have to be through, going outside in beautiful settings, because I was doing this in a closed room with not a lot of interesting things around me. And maybe that's a perceptual error in itself, that I don't necessarily find those things interesting, because when I was ironing, all of these ideas that just kept bubbling up from inside of me only occurred because I was finally getting present to the boredom, which was actually a calling out card to the creativity inside of me. So I guess today I'm just sharing because I wonder the next time you feel bored, I wonder if you could just sit with that boredom and see what actually is bubbling from inside of you. Because it might be something really, really beautiful that you wouldn't have had the opportunity to access if you hadn't had a chance to sit with the calling card of boredom. So that's it from me for now. Take care and have a lovely, lovely week. And I hope you have a boring moment or two as well, so that you can access the beautiful creativity inside of you as well. Take care. Much love.